Hello, everyone. This is The Lock, and this is the Skeptic Wars podcast where I talk about some of my favorite stories this week from the Skeptic Wars blog. Alright, let's just get right down to it, okay? Oh, and before I do, I want to give a quick shout out to a new page that's on Facebook and on the internet. It's called This Week in Pseudoscience. It's a really good page. It's actually pretty funny, and I really do encourage everyone to go and view it and click on it and like it and repost the stuff from that page if you want to on your Facebook. And they also have their own website as well, so just go there and look at it. All right, first one. Photographer to Matt Barber's website. Stop using my copyrighted image or face lawsuit. And this is from Good as You. And this is about the photo's already been taken down, but this is from about a photo that had been taken of it's a photo of two gay men holding their newborn baby. And the photo was pirated by Matt Barber and his website Barbed Wire, and in it they had the words "junk science" put on the photo. If you didn't know, Matt Barber is a notorious homophobe who um, who does this stuff, and the photographer saw this, found this out, and posted a comment, well, a few comments on the comment section where this photo was, and basically said, take down this photo or you're gonna get sued. And they did take down the photo. They deleted her comments, and I'm assuming probably banned her because, as we all know, bigots don't like to be challenged, and they've done this. They've done that before. They've um, removed comments and banned people who basically challenged them. But it just comes to show what type of mentality these homophobic bigots have. They think that apparently two men in a same-sex relationship who are holding their child, they think apparently it's junk science. I mean, this is the type of mentality you're dealing with when you're dealing with homophobes. Alright, Seattle police. Poltergeist turns out to be a woman on meth rampage, and this is from Seattle, and a couple had come home to their condo and it had been ramsackled, and apparently they apparently thought that the place had a poltergeist, but as it turns out, it wasn't a poltergeist. It was a woman um, out of her mind on meth. And I kind of wonder how many times um, you know haunted activities, poltergeist activities, whatever you want to call them, have actually been the result of someone on drugs. I mean, it's probably either somebody was on drugs and they saw a ghost, or somebody was on drugs and did some stuff and that caused other people to think there was a ghost around. So, um, but kind of makes you wonder just how many of these poltergeist cases turns out to be just some meth head. Alright, next one. Activist or capitalist. How the food babe makes money. And apparently, Vanny Hari, the food babe, she has thousands of fans, and you know, um, she makes money off her blog, Food Babe, which, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that what she was promoting was pure pseudoscience and food fear mongering, um, you know, I wouldn't, I wouldn't mind her doing what she's doing. But the problem is, she makes a lot of money, you know, just off of advertisement alone, which, you know, most websites do. And she also sells food guides on her site for $17.99 a month, and she also charges for speaking appearances. So, you know, it sort of makes you wonder, why is she promoting all this pseudoscience? Is she doing it um because she legitimately believes that there's a need for it, or is she doing it for the money? Which it just sort of makes you wonder. Um, I think she does do it because she thinks there's a legitimate need for it, but she does realize she can make money off of it, and you know, she's doing it, which I imagine a lot of people who promote pseudoscience and conspiracy theories and stuff like that do. They think that there's a real need for it, but then they also realize they can make money off of promoting the stuff that they think that there's a real need for, which understandable. I mean, skeptics kind of do that too. I mean, skeptics. Some of our websites have advertisements on it. I've actually considered putting advertisements on the Skeptic Wars blog. You know, just to make money. I'll be all honest, but I haven't done that yet. And and you know, and skeptics, we also sell books. I've never written a book. I'm not that. I'll be all honest. I'm not really that good of a writer. Um, but I do know other skeptics who have made money off of writing and selling books. So you know, if you can make money off of skepticism, hey, good for you. Why? All right, this next one. Why smart people are dumb patients, and this is from the Daily Beast, and this is about how you know, how sometimes smart people, intelligent people, can be um some of the dumbest people, at least when it comes to medical decisions. I mean, let's take a look at Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is um was an extremely intelligent individual. He invented what could be considered one of the first home widely used home available home computers. The you know, the old Macintoshes. I remember those. I remember those fondly. But and Steve Jobs, he had pancreatic cancer, and he could, if he had treated his pancreatic cancer early on with real medicine, with real um you know, cancer fighting medicine and stuff, he could probably be alive today. He probably would be alive today. But instead, at first, he decided to treat his cancer with alternative medicine, and unfortunately, but not unexpectedly, it didn't work, and ultimately it resulted in his death because it made his pancreatic cancer. Um, well, I'm not sure if what he did made his pancreatic cancer worse, but due to the lack of taking actual medical treatments for his pancreatic cancer got worse, and ultimately it turned deadly, and it killed him. And I I believe Jobs actually admitted that if he had not used uh, alternative medicine, you know, it ultimately wouldn't have his pancreatic cancer wouldn't have turned deadly. But probably the reason why and why people who are intelligent oftentimes make dumb decisions is because they're so intelligent that they think that they're right. And because they think that they're right about certain things, even if they're not an expert on it, um, you know, they may end up refusing to use conventional medicine, and you know, so I mean, when you're dealing with sometimes with smart people, educated people, it can be hard to deal with them. I mean, in my job, my line of work, um, sometimes if you deal with, sometimes I have to deal with smart people and educated people, and some of these people, because they're so smart, you know, they'll automatically assume that they're right, and they won't let you think critically about something, and they also won't take advice from an expert. They'll think that, well, this expert might know what he's talking about, but because I'm so smart, I also probably know what I'm talking about. So, you know, sometimes smart people, um, sometimes they can be the dumbest people in the world, basically. I mean, it's good to be smart, but not to the point where you're dumb. Okay. If All right, this is from IO9. If you want a glimpse of the future food wars, look at Hawaii, and this is about the big island of Hawaii, the Big Island, uh, banned GMO crops from the island, and because of this, local farmers there, they have no idea whether their plants are illegal or not. Plus it's going to become a battleground. In fact, I think it is becoming a battleground because there are companies and farmers who are battling this out in court, saying this what what's happened here is illegal. This is completely unfair. GMOs, you shouldn't have banned these things. Um, these crops are perfectly legal to grow, and you shouldn't be banning them. And I agree. You shouldn't. No place should ban GMO crops once it's been. At least no place in the United States. I can't say for the rest of the world. The rest of the world can do whatever it wants. But once a GMO crop has been formally approved by, say, the FDA, the USDA, and whatever other United States agency it has to go through to get approved for sale. And by the way, unlike what the anti-GMO activists believe, um, GMO crops have to go through a lot of testing and a lot of approval just so they can be sold in the United States. Um, once it's approved, it should be legal to grow um anywhere in the country. But some places like Hawaii, like the Big Island of Hawaii, the politicians don't see it that way, and in the end, uh, it ends up costing the local taxpayers money, and it costs these companies money. In the end, it just costs everybody money because these things are going to be fought in court. So in the end, it's just better not to ban these things. So, all right, humans already use way, way more than 10% of their brains, and this is from the Atlantic, and this is about um the science fiction thriller Lucy, which stars Morgan Freeman and Scarlett Johansson. And by the way, any movies that star either Morgan Freeman or Scarlett Johansson, that's enough to go see the movie. and enough of my personal opinions, but apparently the movie um is based on the belief that human beings only use 10% of our brain's capacity, and it's basically making it seem like if we can use 100% of our brain's capacity, we'll basically become gods. But um, the 10% thing is completely bogus. We use a lot more. In fact, we probably do use 100% of our brain's capacity already. But the 10% thing, that's just a myth. I mean, we use way more than 10% of our brain. We use, and even if we did, even if we did only use 10% of our brain's total processing capacity, I mean, it still probably wouldn't matter anyways, because we probably wouldn't become godlike beings even if we were able to, even if we did use 100% of our brain capacity. But the 10% thing, this myth has been around ever since I was a kid, probably for a lot longer than that. But why films like this decide to put this stuff out? Um, I don't know, but it's a movie. It's not supposed to be realistic. All right, last one. Rush Limbaugh figures this airliner shot down thing just a distraction from scary Honduran children on border. And this is from Wonket. And Rush Limbaugh is promoting a conspiracy theory about the Malaysian Airlines jet that was shot down over um, over to Ukraine by, well, at this point it's most likely Ukraine's separatists, but we're not 100% sure about this. Um, but Rush Limbaugh is saying that it's mighty convenient that this airliner was shut down while there's a border crisis with all these Central American children coming into the United States. Um, no, it's not a conspiracy. This just simply happened. I mean, why do people always have to think that when something happens that's tragic and horrible and it it keeps getting talked on the news for days on end, that's conspiracy to distract from another thing? Who knows? Probably they're just trying to distract from one thing in order to, get what they think should be on the news. Who knows? Who knows? It's Rush Limbaugh. I mean, when Rush Limbaugh says something is right, you know it's wrong. Okay? Alright. So, alright, well, that's it for this week's podcast. I certainly hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll be around for next week's podcast. This is The Lock saying, see ya.